do this now.
Yes, you
don't
are.
want to. But has anyone, have you ever sung the theme song since you did it for the demo for Power Rangers?
You mean live?
Yeah.
No.
Live.
I think once at Morphicon, maybe 6 years ago, in a conga line, in a loud room with a DJ, after many beverages. I seem to remember doing that, but nobody could hear me, so I sounded great.
So I'm assuming then you would just, in general, again, not asking you to do it now, but in
honestly, it takes preparation to find that sound. I gargle, whenever I did those songs, I would gargle ice cold Diet Pepsi and kind of get the chords really tightened up and then sing as long as I could, and which, you know, it's like an hour, hour and a half of doing that kind of vocal and finish it, and then could not see because I'm singing so hard through my sinuses that my eyes, I get blurry vision. And I worked at nights at Saban, and they didn't have air conditioning, and I'm in a studio with all this tube gear. So it's dark, and I can't see, and poor me. But anyways, that's what happens when you sing wrong. I'm not even that loud doing it, it's just an intense, all through my throat and face sound. The other sound is not good. That was my rap voice, the other sound.
Alex, Alex next.
Two questions for you, and then the easy ones. One with your reboots, the soft reboot apparently is coming, hopefully soon. If they asked you, would you come back to do the music for it?
For 30 years?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, last March of last year, March or April, Simon Bennett sent me an email and said, we'd love to have you do it, are you interested? Like I said, I couldn't find a large enough font to write back yes. And then he said, we'll have it to you August, and then August turned into September, and then the thing with Jason, and then they were working on the end tribute with that, and it showed up in December, and they went on vacation, and I scored it and delivered it, and it was great. He said, we have notes, and that took like an hour. I mean, and then the network had notes, and that took about an hour. It was nothing, it was great.
My second question is this for you. With all the music that you've released for Power Rangers, all of it, would you ever put an album together to let everybody hear it all together in one spot?
Of what?
All the Power Ranger music.
I can't.
Can't?
No, I can only, even when I recut the stuff in 2012, I could only recut the stuff even that I wrote if it had been previous released on an audio-only CD. The only thing I really didn't want to recut was White Ranger Tiger Power, because I know people were writing, why didn't you do that? Something about white and power in the same chorus just put me in the wrong place now. Sorry, it bothered me.
Hi, so I watched a video with your interview with NerdSync a couple years ago, and I'm just curious, is that Coke story actually true, where you pour the Coke into the mixer?
Yes, yeah. Again at Saban, when I was there, we had it's a Harrison console, which, you know, was probably very expensive at one time. And if you changed any of the EQ, meaning make it brighter or bring out the bass, it would crunch and make a loud sound, and the speakers would blow. You'd have to bring in more speakers. They wouldn't get another console, and I'd had it, so a non-diet Coke, because sugar destroys electronics, I accidentally spilled it in the console. Wrecked the whole thing. They had to buy a really good one that was wonderful.
It's a wonderful accident.
Yeah. Whoops.
One of those happy accidents.
That's when I put on my acting skills and went, oops. Oh, so, they're like, why did you put a drink on the console? I'm like, it was for 1 second. It's true.
So you mentioned that you didn't watch the Japanese version of Power Rangers or Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So how do you find the tones and the overall feel that you're looking for composing the score for a show?
Just looking at the cut and getting a vibe for what the stories are going to be on, they would still call them the DBZ, the storyline and the movement, and you don't want to hit everything because it wasn't a preschool show, so you've got to do these big builds and stuff like that. And then on Power Rangers, it's just the rock action stuff, hit everything, Bulk and Skull are in, do that part, back to this Rita, you're flying around all these melodies. But you generally just look at it and I get a sense for what isn't being said and what needs to be said without it being too obvious, because you really shouldn't hear the score. Songs, yeah, you shouldn't really notice the score that much. If you do, unless it's meant to be really loud, then it's wrong. It's supposed to, you're the other act, you're the supporting actor back there, that's it. So you learn how to do that, you learn what key they're talking in. The younger they are, the higher the key, you want to play to that key so that anything that makes their performance smoother.
It's actually really amazing how that works too. For one example, there's a song, Ride the Machine. It is from the season 2 premiere. And it's rocking, it's jarring, but just listening to it before any vocals come in, you can tell without seeing any picture, you know that we are in a high energy, unmorphed scene with the teenagers that also includes Bulk and Skull. Before you hear anything, it sets the stage perfectly because it goes and it's all there. And it's just one little thematic thing, and it set the stage even without the picture.
That's what's good about those short little thematic things, like when they brought in the X-Men.
It's just going it's Skull over the scene. You can tell.
Yeah, you know it right away. Ride the Machine, I forgot all about that one.
I like it.
Yeah.
I watch the show more often than you probably at this point. So
Yeah,
what
you
are we
watch
gonna watch
one
today?
episode.
Oh, let's watch the Mutiny again.
Yeah, you watch one episode.
Something
for a
new?
full
No, the
week.
Mutiny.
Yeah, exactly. Watch one episode for a full week.
I'll probably watch it next Friday with my friend Sean.
Yeah.
That's my buddy Sean. We'll probably watch it next week. What did I? It's not on. Television.
I went back and watched the opening on Netflix recently.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember every second of this. It was fun.
I'm glad. It's a ride. And a good ride. Joe? Oh, no. Okay. Anything? Does anybody else have one? Yes. Justin has one after. Go ahead.
So, another question for you, Ron. So, basically, going back to the X-Men thing, I've also loved the fact that every X-Men character had their own theme music, like Wolverine, Gambit, Rogue, they all have their individuality of theme music. So, it's like, what was your favorite X-Men theme as far as like each character concerns? Because like each of them.
This is going to be rough because I don't really remember them all, but it was something that Saban was very hardcore about, that everybody had their recognizable theme, which I always thought was great, which they always did with Star Wars. And so I can't remember it exactly with X-Men, but with Bulk and Skull on Power Rangers was the funniest thing. Because I looked at them and I said, what am I going to do here? I said, we got the squeaky guy, that's a muted trumpet. And then you got the big guy that's going to be a tuba, and I'll put this little drum loop behind it. And it worked great. But the favorite heavy one was Lord Zed. That was I love it, which is based off of John Williams. Bad guy, Star Wars.
Darth Vader. Yeah, Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because
Anakin Skywalker, this is spoiler, sir.
we
haven't all seen it yet.
Yeah, especially if you've seen Obi-Wan Kenobi or the recent Ahsoka series. So. But that makes sense though, because like there's a lot of lore between Power Rangers and Star Wars if you think about it, because you think about the Force and the Morphin Grid, there's like a lot of connections with that too though. So I can see the connections with that too though.
Yeah, and then for the 30-year reunion, I had to write new themes. Like for Rita's got a new theme in there. It's not as obvious.
Once and always.
Yeah, for Once and Always, because I wasn't going to do the old stuff. So, it had to be much heavier. She's obviously gotten
Robo.
a lot more evil over the years.
Yeah.
I remember when I'm seeing it, I'm scoring the action stuff, it's like drawings.
Right.
Right, it's storyboard.
Not the
It's
live.
not like you're watching the finished movie.
Yeah, we'll keep sending you stuff. When does he fall down?
Yeah.
And you
At
kinda
28
time it.
seconds in,
Yeah,
you're kind of gonna fall.
You have to kind of guess.
1 minute 18 seconds to climaxes to this, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to go from that heavy action, all right, let's go, to a drawing just.
Justin, did you have one?
So, obviously, a lot of us growing up with your music through Mighty Morphin and stuff. Did you ever think that like your music would be so iconic to us now, 30 years later?
No, you never know. You don't know. Not a clue. Plus, it's very different than, let's say, bands, where they write a hit and their audience goes from 1,000 to 50,000 people and they can't go anywhere in life without being recognized. And they're like, wow, we did something really big. Mine was, yeah, this is doing really well. Now we need the bar mitzvah version, as I mentioned earlier. And we're bringing in this other show, which it all worked out great. My ex, I had to beg her to sing the theme on Sweet Valley High, if anybody remembers that show, which she did not want to do because it paid $75, but she did it, and then she built an entire commercial career off of that. See? So that's why you have, as I told her, you have to say yes to almost everything.
Right, if they're going to offer it, they're not going to offer a second time.
Yeah.
Hold your mornings, of course. Up front, we got one. And then Joe,
And
first.
we actually do the last one.
Yeah, we are out of time.
Tips
That's
it.
45, I was going to say, it's about
That's me and I'm allowed to do
Just
that.
cancel the next panel. This is the big one. Look at these people.
already done, sir. Get them off the board.
Go outside. This is a big place.
I don't know, in your whole career, have you ever worked with someone on the production side that comes to you with like, I kind of want it to sound like this, or do you always go, I don't want to hear that, I have my own ideas?
All the time, absolutely. And I usually, unless we've already established a relationship, will do the opposite. Because, especially if they have 4 or 5 people competing for stuff, because everybody's going to do that Britney Spears knockoff, I'm going to do like Metallica meets Gershwin, whatever, right?
However they get married.
That'd be a weird, yeah. I'm going to do something different, so when they're listening, like, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Oh, that sounds completely different. What's that? And it's worked so many times, especially in commercials. It's worked really well in that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And then sometimes I get my ass kicked for doing it, so.
But you know what? That's you're standing to your laurels.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're doing what you do, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Ron Weiserman!
Thank you, everybody.
It's crazy, guys. Be happy, be happy. All right, guys. Yeah, Ron, you gonna be back at your table today?
Yeah, I'm going back to my bin.